Today, the topic is, how is Burning Man like science fiction? Who here loves science fiction? Yes, yes, yes. All right. I love science fiction. It is my escape. It is also, I think, a tool. I do not feel embarrassed that I love science fiction. Since I was in line around the block watching Star Wars as a 6-year-old or something like that, I have loved the ability to go to another world, another context, and suspend disbelief, and then chew on ideas, values, principles in a way and in a context and in a framework free from all the confines of the real world. I know a lot of people are very dismissive of science fiction, but I think that's changing, especially when you see the Comic-Con, popularity. It is becoming very clear that comic books and sci-fi, these things are not silly things for kids. These are powerful tools for exploring ideas. Because when you have a world such as in Dune or Star Wars, it's not just a fantasy of people running around in the sand or playing with lasers. They are political, social, psychological, whole frameworks that can be similar enough to our own worlds that we can see the parallels. And then we can take ideas and push them and explore them and see what would happen if this wasn't there, see if that wasn't there. And it becomes this philosophical exercise in the context of another world. And I think Burning Man does the same thing. Because when you go to Burning Man, when you go to this location that is outside the ordinary, the Black Rock Desert looks and feels unlike any place else. When you have the social system of the 10 principles, so you have this different way of interacting with people. You have no commerce, so you have a vastly different structure of transactional interactions. Those don't exist. You have this immediacy that is not present. So it is very much like visiting another planet. And so it is in this environment, this suspended disbelief fantasy world of Burning Man, that you get to explore these avenues of interaction. And also you explore these realms of personal expression. Who are you outside of the confines, outside of the structure of the default world that you've been born in? You can't even see the default world because it is so around you, it's so confining. That's why science fiction is such a powerful tool, because it takes the fantasy of going to a journey far, far away in a galaxy long, long ago to get yourself to go, no, it doesn't have to be like that. Or it takes going to the desert covered in dust with wacky things everywhere to go, no, it doesn't have to be like that. And then when you get in that space, the way that you interact with others and the way you see yourself can take on that magic, that anything is possible. Perhaps I'm a Jedi. Perhaps I'm a monk. Perhaps I'm a humble gardener. And I just have never had the context to explore those thoughts. It's basically a set for a sci-fi movie. So you get to step into the set and actually really suspend your disbelief. If you were watching a Star Trek and suddenly a guy had a Nike shirt on, it would pull you out of the fantasy. And that's the same reason why people are so aggressive about protecting the vibe of Burning Man and encouraging people not to bring logos, not to wear or do or bring any artifacts of the default world, so that we can have that suspension of disbelief, so we can have that exploration of fantasy that then lets us try on our sci-fi personalities. Who are we in this realm of limitlessness? Who are we in this realm of otherworldliness? And if that person is different from the person that we are in the default world with its restrictions, then we have to do some serious internal searching and seeking and critical analysis of how we're acting and why are we listening to this story. If it's because you're afraid of going to jail, that's legitimate. If you're afraid of being ridiculed by somebody that you don't even really respect or care about, that's an old pattern that you can smash through. And it is in this science fiction set that we get to practice. Thank you for being a part of this story, this fantasy, this opportunity to recalibrate and remember that on this planet, your purpose is love. Thank you for being a part of this journey and this moment. I love you. See you at home.